In your eyes I see our dream. Side by side we are a team. Piece by piece we find our way. Words unspoken, hearts convey. Hand in hand through stormy skies. Together we will always rise. Heart to heart and soul to soul. With you I feel completely whole. Step by step we'll reach the top, building love that never stops. Layer by layer, trust grows strong. In this place we both belong. Dreams we chase with every dawn. Together we are never wrong. Wrong. No matter what comes our way, our love will guide us every day. Challenges we will defy, with you forever by my side. Heart to heart and soul to soul. With you I feel completely whole. Step by step we'll reach the top, building love that never stops. Heart to heart and soul to soul. With you I feel completely whole. Step by step we'll reach the top, building love that never stops. No matter what comes our way, our love will guide us every day. Challenges we will defy, with you forever by my side. Heart to heart and soul to soul. With you I feel completely whole.
It's a very, very beautiful sunny afternoon in the city of Lagos, Nigeria. And if you know the timing and you know the space, you will know that this is the time for Heart to Heart Live with your very favorite online radio station, Digit 1024. My name is Adeolu Ogunubi, but you popularly call me Papa D. And I'm glad to bring to you again another exciting conversation around love, life, and marriage. And if you are out there and subjects around love, life, marriage, interest you, this is the space to be. And it's a Friday. Thank God it's Friday. So all the hustle and bustle and all this, there's just something about Friday that makes people a bit relaxed, throw their and bring their hair down and just get ready for a very beautiful weekend. That's not like the story on Mondays. People wake up on Mondays with depression. But Friday is not like that. And one of the ways we want to try to get your weekend going, we are very deliberate and intentional about the conversations on Friday. This is part of getting you to relax, think about a beautiful weekend, and how to get your weekend going. Today, I am going to be in the studio with two veterans. And the conversations today require that we bring people with depth, with experience, and we don't just like churning out beautiful theories. Theories are good, but you need to have people who have proven it, who can tell you categorically that theories and practical are two ways apart. It's good to start with the theory, but it's more beautiful to know how the theory works in real life. So today, I am not alone, never alone. I'm here with a gentleman. Is it a gentleman? Yeah, I'm here. And I'm here with, it's all married people are fair today, all right? And that's because probably on the kind of conversation we want to have. We want to talk about navigating difficult and troubling conversations with a sense of peace or with the result of peace. And today I'm going to be in the studio having this conversation with you with, let's start with ladies first. She's been here a couple of times, just a few times. It's not very, she's not a very easy person to say, come over. You have to prep a little, you know, talk to God and ask that God will touch her. So thank God the Lord has done his job. So we are here in the studio with Mrs. Foluke Ayuba, the CEO. It's not CEO, call them there, but the proprietor of Toddlerville here in Festac. Folks, what's up? Good to have you.
Good afternoon, Lagos. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Lagos and the world, actually, yeah. Okay. Because we are watched around the world. Right. And then we have right on my right, you know him, the man is probably has the greatest showing in Heart to Heart over the years. He's someone you're familiar with, and he's got some new baby project all up his sleeves. You are going to be maybe hearing a bit about it during this conversation today. No other person, the man who makes others better, MOB, pastor of Strong Nation Christian Assembly here in Lagos. You know, Pastor Michael Oluwaseun Bangbade is in the building. MOB, how you doing?
I'm very fine, sir. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Your voice looks well taken care of. You look very relaxed. You look like somebody has taken care of you.
Sir, we're here to navigate.
Difficult
conversations.
That's it now. We already started a difficult conversation already. All right, so I'm going to read an introductory, you know, piece that gives perspective to our conversation today. If you are out there and you are in probably a married relationship, a committed relationship, you are engaged to be married, or you just are in a platonic loving relationship with loved ones. But in recent times, it looks as though maybe you are siblings, but it looks as if you probably are doubting if you are from the same parents. You know, the language seems to be changing. Some people are married in the same house, but they live like housemates. Some people cannot just understand why people who love themselves cannot seem to have a decent conversation. How many have ever wondered that, you know, why is it that when we come into a particular subject to have a conversation, that subject always ends that conversation on the wrong notes? People go their different ways, carry cold shoulder here and there, and you're just wondering, why is it very difficult to sail through certain conversations, especially among people who are supposed to be bonded by love, bonded by blood, and things will just flow. People who are supposed to be best of friends. How come some conversations go smoothly, and it is guaranteed that if you go in a particular direction, that conversation is not going to end well? So today, we are not just having a conversation, we are opening doors that many couples have shut for too long. Because the truth is this: it is not the absence of love that destroys most relationships, it is the absence of healthy conversations. Many couples, particularly in Nigeria, not restricted to Nigeria, but our space here, maybe for this conversation, is more in Nigeria, West Africa, or Africa at large. At least, you know, from our own space. They're not necessarily fighting strangers. They're fighting silence. They're fighting assumptions. They're fighting ego, cultural expectation, financial pressure, and unspoken pain. Unspoken pain underlying that. Some conversations are just avoided because they are uncomfortable. I can relate with that. I've had many uncomfortable conversations that I've had to avoid in the name of peace. The peace we now call the pseudo peace. Some are mishandled because emotions are very high, and some are delayed until damage has been done. But peace in relationships are not the absence of conflict, it is the presence of wisdom in how the conflicts are handled. As we navigate the discussion today, our goal in this panel is not to win arguments. I can bet you they don't even know what the questions are. So I can tell you that there may be crossfires, you know. And I deliberately bored folks because she's a ringleader she's a community leader in our in our space. So she's going to be representing very well our constituency. And I brought another ringleader. So no script. They don't even know what the questions are. So, but the idea is not to win an argument, actually. It's not a gender war, all right? Our goal is to build understanding, restore connections, and learn how to speak truth in love. And there's a scripture that captures that very well. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15. Speaking the truth. You can speak the truth in anger. You can speak the truth in ego. You can speak the truth, but speak the truth in love. That's what Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15 says. That means that truth must not be weaponized. Love must not be silent. Today, we want to lean into honest conversations. We want to lean into growth. And we want to lean into peace. So let the conversation begin. So I'll start with MOB. Just tell us a quick introduction of what you think the conversation is about in 2-3 minutes. And then folks will also go and then we'll start taking the case studies. Let's roll. Again, if you are just joining us, don't forget, share and get to make your comments. That's what the comment sections are for. If you drop there, you know, and if you are the fans of any of the guests, you know, let them know that you should stop by, you know, say hello, say hi. Don't just be a ghost listener and a ghost reader. Do something, engage with the video, share, and let us know you were there. Thank you. All right, MOB, what do you think about the conversation?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So my thought when I first saw the team for the meeting today, navigating difficult conversation with peace. So what ran through my mind first is you will see difficult, then you now see peace. How can you combine difficult and peace together?
And peace together.
You understand?
Looks like,
and you want to navigate peace and so you know it
because
was
most people like to move from peace to more peace.
Exactly, bro.
That difficulty
Yes.
to peace is a skill and it's not easy to go by.
And that's why now people they say it's no longer from
that marital vow.
yes, that marital vow.
For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer.
But now it's not for better for worse. Now it's
For better, for best.
for better for best for richer.
The richest.
So you know, and the honest reality is that whether you like it or not, and provided you are married to flesh and blood, there will always be difficult conversations.
Some people are married to spirits. Like some people used to think in the early days that we were spirits, that we used to walk in the air, not walk on the ground. I wonder how they thought that way. Well, we're flesh and blood. I mean, if you ask my wife now, she knows I'm fully flesh and blood.
Fully. So, provided you are married, there will definitely. And then, you know, when I say definitely, it means that, you know, whether you like it or not, it's just like day and night. Whether you do anything about, there will always be night. So, with or without your input, there will always be day and night. So, whether you are ready for it or you are not ready for it, there will always be difficult conversation. So, but my small experience is that, my small experience about difficult conversation is largely, I think that
you are calling 10 years applause.
14 years.
14 years. Small experience.
It's small experience.
It's not small experience. Don't be humble.
Okay, so this is my 14 years experience. I think that I've seen that largely navigating difficult conversation with peace is not even about the conversation. It's always a growth problem first. It's first a growth problem. If both parties are not growing, they will never be able to navigate difficult conversation. So the first thing is both parties must be committed to their personal growth first. You must own your growth responsibility assignment. You must take it as a work. And if you are not growing, you can be rest assured that there are areas that we'll never touch in our marriage till we die. But when we start growing, there are things that we can now, there are difficult conversations we can now be navigating with peace. So without that, difficult will always be difficult.
Bam. Growth. Personal growth first. That helps you position yourself to be able to navigate difficult conversations. Let's hear the female version. What do you think?
Okay. When I saw the topic, I thought to myself that is it possible that you won't have difficult conversations in your marriage? Definitely no, because you're two different people coming from two different backgrounds. That has already set up a conflict.
Damn, because they're going to see life
Oh
and things from two
yes,
different perspectives.
we are wired differently. Male, female, we are wired differently. The things that I feel that issues, my partner may think that they are very simple things that we can just, we don't even have to talk about it. It's a given that we will align. But definitely because we are coming from two different backgrounds and because we are individuals in our own right before coming into the marriage, we'll definitely have our differences. Now, where the issue now comes in is when you're not now able to, yes, there will be conflict, like I said, but how do you now resolve the conflict? The only way to resolve this conflict is first to talk about it or identify that there is an issue and then begin to see how to talk about it. Now, a lot of times for women, if you talk too much, you are deemed as nagging. So I think that's one of where
that's if women talk too much or if men talk too much.
If women talk too much, they are deemed, as nagging. And then the men just feel that you have said this thing before, so why are you saying it again? You are nagging.
So meaning, every time you say something more than once, it becomes nagging.
That is how you are perceived.
That's okay. It's about perception.
True or false? So that's how you're perceived. And for fear of being perceived as nagging, sometimes you want to not say it all the time. But again, like MOB has said, it's all about growing. The truth is, if there are no conflicts, I dare say that you're both pretending.
Yeah.
There must be conflicts. There must definitely be conflict. But now, it behoves on both of you to now find a way to resolve it. And communication is very key. And then Papa D said something. So sometimes, you now begin to resort to silence. That is a red flag and a killer in any marriage. Yeah. So,
but they have peace, some form of
you have said
in
it,
the sense that
is pseudo because the peace is
plastic.
Yes,
it's not
very
like
artificial. It's not good peace if there's anything like that. Yes.
So if you are experiencing peace in the sense of there is no shouting, no quarrel, no gbasgbos, as we know gbasgbos, but inside you are still dying. Inside you are still yearning for attention. You still want expression. But because of, let's stay out of trouble, let the house be quiet, let there be no noise. But you are not comfortable, you are not happy in that relationship. Come closer. This conversation is about you. If you are presently in a relationship where you feel stifled, where you cannot express yourself, and you really want to talk, but you are like, can this person take this? Will this hurt this person? So let me just take it inside. And this conversation, you really want it, but how do we navigate through difficult conversations that you know that the other person is not willing to talk about, but it's something that is still bothering your heart? We're trying to look at the way out. Before I go into the case studies that we hope I will have time to be able to take the 5. Let's do one more thing. Before I got married, and in the early part of marriage, I was told that in conversation and in communication, everything should be on the table. The implication is that you should talk about everything and anything. That means everything our counselors told us. I've also shared it with young couples. Everything is on the table. Now, after 20-something years, after 14 years, do you honestly think, do you still recommend that in marriage and in relationship, even from especially when you cross, maybe at the time when you are still courting, there are certain things that probably may not be in the table. But some people even say once you are engaged to be married and your wedding date is done, everything, talk about it. Do you still believe that? Do you, or you say, okay, wait until you are married. Once you are now married, no conversation should be off the table. Or now, it's not every conversation you talk about, some will get you into trouble. What do you think, Amobi?
Okay, so in the light of, like I said earlier, that relationship largely has to do with your level of growth, how you are growing. Because, I still told my wife recently that there are certain conversations that...
You will still keep away from her?
Yes.
For her protection?
Yes.
You know your wife does not agree with you?
Yes, she does not agree.
You agree, okay.
She does not agree.
Good.
So, but I have seen over time that at times there are certain conversations as well that is the end is better for you, not the process. The end. What I mean by the end.
Shed more like that.
Okay, so what I mean by the end is, okay, what happened early this year about one of us that had that what's it called now, that
unfortunate issues.
That unfortunate issue. So I couldn't tell my wife because the way she will process it and how she's going to handle it.
No, but you eventually told her.
Then I told her at the end. What I mean by the end is when we had some kind of arrangement and then there was peace, we have been able to solve that.
When you eventually told her, did she think that you should still have brought it to her notice much earlier?
No. She now had understanding that there's a solution now.
Okay.
So I don't like to now bring problem that will create other problem.
You know, another person can think that you mean you have reduced my IQ, that you have a problem, you went to go and consult. It's not the way you go and consult people outside. You are undermining and demeaning the intelligence of your wife to say that it's when you now found solution. You say, okay, sweetheart, let me come and
in this particular matter, there are matters as a word that you bring on the table and then we can talk. But in this particular matter, whatever that would trouble her peace, whatever that would...
So you were protecting her?
It's just about just to protect her.
And she got the vibe.
She got it. When I saw what happened, when I saw it myself, I was disturbed. 3 weeks I was not myself.
We were all disturbed.
my own 2-3 weeks I wasn't just normal. So, and there's no way as a word that I'll be able to tell her like that. I know it's going to affect her. So I just needed to protect her, and then I shielded her from 2 days later. I called her that this was happening.
So eventually,
yes,
you still had the conversation.
It
was just about
timing. Yes, about timing.
Some people, so this is what I'm talking about now, is that some people have the opinion that there are some conversations you should not have in your marriage.
At all.
Yes, is off the table. Especially when you probably have attempted it once or twice and you observed where it landed. And you just observe that this woman or this man can handle this conversation. So off the table. Just be thinking it in your head or be discussing with people outside the marriage, not your husband, not your wife. Folks, what do you think?
We need to be careful to identify the kind of conversation. This instance that he's talking about, does it directly affect both of you in the marriage, or is it concerning a third party?
It's a third party.
Okay, so that's it's neither here nor there really. But if it has to do with both of you, I don't think any conversation should be swept under the carpet with the timing or...
When you mean both of you, okay,
because
sometimes it can be a third party, but the interaction with that third party, it can also directly affect the marriage.
Yeah, if maybe third party like in-laws, and
ex.
then ex-bow.
Ex.
Yes.
Ex-bow. The people don't have their ex, they have ex now.
No, exes. Please, let's be very careful. Exes have to be discussed before the marriage. I shouldn't be getting any surprise about an ex when we are married. Excuse me, any ex that has been is a lost case. I mean, is a forgotten case. Please discuss it. Let's talk about it. It's not when we are married. You're not telling me that there's one ex that, and then it's this discussion about this ex is going to impact on us directly in one way or the other. No, please. So we need to hear that one before
the marriage.
That is not to be swept under the carpet.
Okay, so if you have been told before you got married about, and then probably maybe now you are now married now, you now have some kind of dealings with this your ex. Is the man supposed to come and tell you that because You know, the problem there is that
wait,
once you mention it to a woman that is not secured, you have created problem.
Why did you marry?
Why did you marry an insecure?
No. So
And
what
why
I mean,
are you
what I mean,
complicating the woman's insecurity?
no. Anything can happen in life.
Like
Maybe you
what?
can have a common ground. I mean, a common ground.
Okay,
whereby
maybe I'm the
now
one who caused
something
problem
is
by
bringing two of
saying
you
X.
together.
That X scratch it.
No, we can't scratch it. Maybe somebody needs this now. Somebody
Yes,
can need this now.
there are people battling with
somebody
exes now.
let's
so
deal with
let's
it.
deal with it.
Okay, so your take is that there might have been an X somewhere, and then now the X is in the picture, and then you have dealings with the
As a
person,
business partner.
and I am
Yes.
not hearing about it.
Mm-hmm.
It is you who is insecure. Because if there is an X, and I know the X's name as AB, for example, and I've heard about the AB and I had a relationship sometime in the years back, and then we're all done now and everything is fine. You know, we have gone our separate ways. And then so many years later, I'm hearing, you did not tell me, but somehow that name comes up, and I'm hearing that there is dealings with the person. Of course, I expect that what you should do, if you are secure yourself, is come and tell me that, oh, remember that this person is my ex, but there's a business relationship that we have. And then I become your accountability partner to help you set boundaries.
But he has taken the personal evaluation that the wife may not be able to handle that information.
Then that's where the problem is going to start from. Now, if the wife begins to give you problems later, you are the one who caused it.
Okay. Well, that's not
our
our gist. It's just to let
I
you
hope that helps somebody who is dealing with an ex.
So, in a sentence, what would be your position about all conversations are on the table, or some conversations cannot be on the table?
Okay, for me, I think that when you're getting into a marriage, the person has become your life partner and has become your confidant. And for the sake of safety, it is not ideal to hide anything. If you feel that if you tell the person, bring it all bare, and it's going to cause a problem, it's better you disengage yourself from such things so that you don't begin to create problems. Because somewhere along the line, you begin to now blame the woman or blame the man that it is you that did it, but you were the one that caused the problem. So I think openness is very key in marriage. I think that we should be very open to each other. And then because we have taken a vow that we have become one body, joined together, I don't think there should be anything that will be a secret. If I know that bringing up this conversation or bringing up this matter before my husband would cause a problem, I think it's safe that I avoid such things.
For how long?
It's possible for as long as you want your marriage to remain. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's safe that way. That may be my opinion, but I think it works for me. And I expect the same. I don't think you should hold any, because I am this open, this transparent. And that's where these problems begin to brew. When they are on conversations that they are not bringing out. And then the woman begins to find out, it begins to have touches on your trust. Trust issues begin to brew. And you really don't want that.
Okay, sir. I think that the other side of it is that when you know that there are conversations, of course, I totally agree that we should talk about everything.
Yeah.
But, you know,
There's a but.
There is a but. In talking about everything, how you react and how you respond to everything that we're talking about is very important. Because there are times as a word that...
So maybe, because let's just say that you can talk about everything, but the timing is key.
Not even just timing. The maturity of both parties. Very important.
Who determines the majority?
So
Because anybody can decide to say, I didn't tell you because you cannot handle it. You
So
can use
what
that.
what I mean by...
So that, yes.
What I mean by maturity now is that, you know, there are conversations that we know the end from the beginning. And we know that once we have this conversation, you know, the peace in the house, it always affects the peace in the house. When we have this conversation.
Yeah.
There are conversations. But you now discover that when we grow, there are things that we naturally outgrow.
We need case studies in this matter.
Yes.
I'll
So we're
go-
not talking
Okay, generally.
Okay, so
Generally.
let's go straight to the first case study. Hey, a husband, case study number 1. You ready? A husband discovers, this is about money, pride, and transparency. A husband discovers his wife has been sending money. This particular case study, a type of it is an ongoing case that I'm presently handling in a counseling matter. So it's a real life. I mean, this particular scenario or template is a real life that we can relate with. All right, not as though the particular case study is the real life I'm handling. A husband discovers his wife has been sending money regularly to our family without informing him. She argues, it is my money and my family responsibility is important. But he feels disrespected and excluded. The question is, how should couples in this situation in Nigeria balance financial transparency with extended family obligations without breeding resentment?
Okay, there should be an ante to this. There is, it depends on how, because different marriages have their guiding rules, if I like to put it that way. So in some
maybe
families,
they have a joint account?
Yes, in some families they have, husband and wife, they have a joint account. And there has been an agreement or, the decision taken that this money belongs to the family. And then every money or every money they're earning should be put into this account. So whatever financial decisions that we are taking, we need to both agree to take them.
Yeah.
So in that case, if that is what obtains in this family, then it's totally wrong for the woman to take money and then send to her family without her husband's consent. But in a case where there's no such agreement or policy, and then we both earn our monies individually, what I do with my money is not a problem. What you do with your money, I don't ask you. If there's a family demand, we both rise up to it. And then if there's your own extended family demand, you rise up to it. There's no problem. So we need to find out if there's something else, whatever the agreement has been before now.
Okay, so
otherwise, I don't expect that. Like, we don't have a joint account. My husband has never asked me what exactly I do with my money. Of course, he knows I'm not frivolous with spending. And then my mom has a need. And I tell him, oh, my mom has a medical need. And then you still expect me to come and ask you that, can I send money to my mom?
Okay, so that's where there is no law, there's no sin.
Yeah.
But in the case where there is a law, as far there's an agreed policy. In the particular one I'm handling, it's actually a joint account. A policy has been established.
Oh.
The funds do not move without the signature of the CEO.
Oh.
The funds that was moved were probably, yes, the funds of the wife in our own. And probably it was also a medical emergency, but the point is that policy was flouted. In the case that this has now happened, how do that couple, because it's still an ongoing navigation that is going on right now, how do they navigate? What should be the proper posture of heart, behavior to get out of this particular disagreement, this particular friction that has now taken place?
Okay, so what really comes
what
to
would
mind?
You expect from your wife if that happened?
What really comes to mind is that let him that is without sin be the first person to throw the stone.
Meaning what?
Meaning that all of us, you understand, we always be guilty of one thing or the other in marriage.
Bam.
So it doesn't make sense for you to just hold on to a particular matter and say you will never forgive. It doesn't make sense because we're all sinners. All of us.
We're all sinners. Don't use that word.
Okay. What I mean is that every one of us, we have our area of strength and weakness in marriage. So if I'm particular about your own, my own too is coming. So and it's turn by turn PLC. So it's important how we navigate those challenges. Because nobody is perfect. We're all working towards perfection. So what I think the woman
should apologize.
Yes, she should definitely. That's the first thing.
Own
you
the
apologize,
guilt.
own it, and then the man should show some level of empathy. And understand what's going on.
Especially when it's a medical emergency.
Yes. Understand what's going on and all. So one of the things that we do at home is that I discovered that sending money to my mother over time, my mother will be feeling as your wife has never sent me money. I heard that like once or twice.
Meanwhile, it is both of you.
It's two of us. So the second time that she said that, you know what I did? From that day, I stopped sending money to her. So all the money comes from my wife. There was a day she now called me. She now called me that you're not sending me money again. I was like, you know where this money is coming from? So because I've seen that if we don't manage our parents very well, if you are the one that is sending money, you know, to your own mother, they begin to look at your wife or look at your spouse and what's going on? Why is this girl no? Why is she not? But when she's the one, my mother sees my wife as always praying for my wife. I see this life. But it's wisdom because it's just to find a way to navigate to manage that end, or else you can have a whole lot of issues around that area. So I've stopped sending money. What if I just want to tell my wife, okay, just this small money, but majority of sending money comes from my wife to my mother.
That's wisdom. Thank you very much. So we're going to case to number 2. Again, from stemming for what he said, in-law interference and boundaries. These are very, very real-time, on-the-ground challenge that many homes and families in Nigeria, in the African space and client face. So a wife feels constantly disrespected by her mother-in-law. Wives and mother-in-law. This is a scenario that will never end till Jesus comes. Yeah, so a wife feels constantly disrespected by her mother-in-law, who frequently interferes in their marriage decisions. The husband avoids confrontation, saying, "This is just how my mom is." Leading question: what are healthy, biblical, and practical ways for couples to set boundaries with in-laws without dishonoring parents? You know, I'm going to say that again. What are the healthy, because they are very unhealthy ones, biblical and practical ways for couples to set boundaries? Because you are going to be setting boundaries against powerful people of influence in your life over the years. With your in-laws without dishonoring parents. Now, folks, to be fair, I mean, you lived... you have a real-time experience, you know.
Experiential knowledge.
Don't give us so much details so that
I was just laughing.
they don't call PGH meeting on your behalf. But just give us my principle.
I was just laughing before you finished reading out that case study. Honestly, it takes the grace and the wisdom from God. Honestly. But I think what's important basically is both of you must see the marriage as entirely both of you, and everybody else is a third party. Yes.
Including your in-laws.
Everybody is a third party. It's first
Only
about
your father and mother that sponsor the marriage.
everybody is a third party.
Including your mother that came to do Mugo.
Everybody. So I think that if you have that as a background rule, that every other person is your third party, it helps you to work better.
Absolutely.
Meaning that I don't think I need to. I don't think it would be nice for if there's a decision to be taken, I first go and consult my mom, and then come and give my husband the feedback of, even if I don't tell him this is mommy said, he can tell that this is not my own sense.
This is your mommy's.
And then there's a problem. So practically, if you first and foremost see your in-laws as third parties, wherein their opinion is secondary. Their opinions are suggestions to you. They're not what you are taking in. So practically, because of the fact that I've lived with my mother-in-law, I think I would give my husband a thumbs up because he made sure there was a line of divide.
Chairman will give you thumbs up.
Yes, he made sure there was a line of divide. And then that also puts me in line. I did not cross boundaries. So when it has to do with conversation with him and his mom, I respect the boundaries. When it has to come to conversation between myself and himself, he makes his mom respect the boundaries. And of course, we don't come running. In fact, she doesn't even hear. Most times she would expect to hear us arguing or trying, like, why were you raising your voice that time? Say, nothing, we're just gisting. Even if it was an argument. When she wants to ask, of course, I mean, it's quite normal. because you cannot cut the tie. This is his mom. I mean, I have a mom too, and I also have children. I don't expect that they will just throw me out like that. So you will need to be very sensible when you're doing these kinds of things. So he also helped in that. He made sure that we don't always have to, he doesn't run to his mom, seek her opinion, and her opinion is not overriding, even when she tries to, you know, be
because once they are there, they will offer, whether you ask for the
most
advice
definitely
or not, they will offer it.
Unsolicited, they always had advice to give to you. And then you respectfully, you will not say no. We have taken your advice, and that's it. There's no reason for argument, so that she doesn't also become threatened. That okay, so in my child's life now, I become my opinions have become immaterial. In fact, she says it sometimes. No, but your opinion is taken. Don't worry, we'll act on it, and that ends it. So you create a line of divide so that there is no interference. Wife is here, mother is here, and then there is peace.
Thank you very much. If you are living with an in-law, brother-in-law, uncle-in-law, daddy-in-law, mom-in-law, and you have a real-time experience and you want to share, please go on this comment section and let us know how you are navigating setting the difficult boundaries in such a way that you keep the peace of your home without sounding rude or dishonoring your parents. These are difficult things, but these are realities. It is the principle. Just before, I don't know why everyone's do a thought on it before I go to case number 3, and then we'll take a break and finish on the remaining 2. This simple principle I give to couples when we do our premarital counseling with them. I said that for no reason, if you choose to have, and you should from time to time welcome very openly your in-laws, whatever especially father-in-law, mother-in-law, and all of that, even brothers-in-law, siblings, all right, in-laws. It is important to set a general principle. I will not be involved in a shouting match with my in-laws. Will you have issues when they come? Just know that every time mother-in-laws come to do a mungu, there will be issues. They are going to see things different from the way you are setting it out. You should not be seen having a shouting match with your mother-in-law. When they cross boundary, because they will cross boundary, your agent of communication to your in-laws is their son, is their brother, which happens to be your husband, and vice versa. So if I have something to say to my mother-in-law that is corrective, I will just communicate it to my wife. She knows exactly how to step it down and put it across. You know, that helps you. But you know, sometimes some of these things are spontaneous.
Yes.
You just realize, this brother-in-law that's always coming to the fridge, I put 2 Coke here. He comes and takes it and drinks it. One day you just say, no! Not in this place, not in my house. Go to your house. And then the man walks in. Why are you shouting at? Go and tell that your silly brother. Awala comes. They say, is it my brother you are calling silly? Yes, why would I call him silly? Is he not silly? He will not walk. He will be just sitting in this house from morning to evening, browsing his phone, and I put something in the fridge. He will go and be the one. I don't want him here. And then your brother will say, your husband will say, that's where Wala starts.
Yeah.
So I understand that some of these things can happen spontaneously. But again, that's where we have the fruit of the Spirit. You should be able to make it as a rule that when I go bananas and I need to spill out and give out a piece of my mind, I would call my husband, I'll call my wife, voice it out, very respectfully too. And then I'm sure that if your husband is responsible and your wife is responsible, they know exactly how to talk to their people, and there'll be peace. You want to say something about what the case?
Okay, I think that the husband too need to, like what I did to my mom before I got married. I told my mom that, look at what Bible said.
A man shall
leave his father and his mother.
You think she should already know his own?
I needed her to have that understanding that my wife will always be number one. Then my mother, she did not agree.
She did not agree.
She did not agree. But I eventually told her that my wife would be number. So we had something happened. My mother was not happy, so myself and my wife went to go and visit her. And that day, that should be about 5 or 6 years ago. The things my mother said to my wife.
In front of you?
I was there.
Wow.
Hi. My wife was crying. The things my mother said.
So wait. She was crying while they were tongue lashing her in front of you?
Yes, I was there.
You were there?
I was there.
How did you take it?
So that should be about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So what happened 5 6 years? It wanted to happen last year. So when when my mother start Nibi by this will never happen. I thought this thing that you want to do, this will never happen. My wife is this will never happen. Anybody that comes against my wife, it means that you have got, and I will fight with everything that I have. I was telling my mother, I will fight anybody. I will fight that person with my body. So
your wife was not begging you.
You know my wife doesn't like problem. My wife doesn't like problem.
You only want to come into trouble with her mother-in-law. I could imagine.
My mother now said that she has never heard me like that. I said my wife, anybody. So that's how the matter died though. After that day like this, you know that you can't go to that area.
You set the boundaries immediately.
Yes.
And so some people will never accept that. Nah. Before you wear my mother, blah, my father, that. You know, it's biblical. Once marriage takes place, your spouse is on a higher priority than your pastor, than your parent, than your prophet. That's what we know from scripture. And some people have never really made that navigation and that change, and that's why they're having issues. All right, this is still Heart to Heart Live, and we're looking at navigating difficult conversations with a sense of peace. We are on Digit 1024 Radio, and I'm with MOB and folks, and we're going to be going on a very short break, and we'll be back to finish on the 2 last case studies. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
In your eyes I see our dream. Side by side we are a team. Piece by piece we find our way. Words unspoken, hearts convey. Hand in hand through stormy skies. Together we will always rise. Heart to heart and soul to soul. With you I feel completely whole. Step by step we'll reach the top, building love that never stops. Layer by layer trust grows strong. In this place we both belong. Dreams we chase with every dawn. Together we are never wrong. No matter what comes our way, our love will guide us every day. Challenges we will defy, with you forever by my side. Heart to heart and soul to soul. With you I feel completely whole. Step by step we'll reach the top, building love that never stops. Heart to heart and soul to soul. With you I feel completely whole. Step by step we'll reach the top, building love that never stops.
All right, welcome back to Heart Live. We have been having a juicy, very engaging conversation this afternoon, navigating difficult conversations with peace. There's a lot of odds that are out there. You know, some wives, I could see you where you are. You are in the early stages of depression. Because you cannot find a middle ground of mutual agreement on a subject that is so very deeply painful. And I know how it could be. You know, in my first 10 years in marriage, I had conversations that I really wanted to get through, but it just wasn't working. Every time we started on this subject, all right, it just would end badly. And everybody ends up sitting on the North Pole, on the South Pole, that cold shoulder treatment, and for days you're not speaking to yourself, just because of this small conversation. It's no longer is. So it took a while to learn the ropes, to know how to navigate difficult conversation. And I will not say I'm under the perfect right now, but we are much better than where we were 10 years ago. So let's go to case study. Of course, I'm here with folks, Mrs. Foluke Yuba and MOB Pastor Michael Luwashe but then they've been sharing it really, really very, using their very personal experience. All right, so let's go to case number 3. Don't forget to like, share, engage, and drop your own questions or real life situations if you are in this space right now. All right, case study number 3, communication breakdown after conflict, just like I told you at the introduction. After arguments, one partner shuts down emotionally for days. It's called silent treatment. While the other one's immediate resolution, it was just like me. I came from an angle where I thought scripture says the sun shall not go down your anger. So anytime there's an issue, now, we must resolve it. From where my wife came, the orientation and the wiring of my wife, once she's hungry, she has to sleep over it. So you can imagine when we now came together in a relationship and then issues happen and I'm like, we must discuss it. She will say no, that she's not in the mood. She doesn't want to talk. I'm like, what? The Bible says we should talk about this thing. Okay, now, you want to talk, oh yeah, talk. That's how she will stay there. After I talked, I know me, I'm a talker. I'm a talker. I can talk. I'm great. I talk. I think I'm making sense. So what do you have to say? Nothing.
That's a campaign.
And you have been pouring out your soul, thinking, this thing is hitting the nail on the or sometimes she even finds her sleeping in the course of the, and then it went on and on and on until I gave up and I was like, okay, let her sleep over it. And truly, she can sleep over an a angry situation, wake up the next day and she's fine. You don't even talk about it again. I'm like, who does that? How does that make sense? I can't sleep. I can't talk to God. You can sleep and sleep very well and wake up like nothing happened. Now, and these are the realities nobody probably will tell you married, but it does happen. All right. So, why the other person wants immediate resolution, this pattern repeats. It's not just it happens once. It's not a one-off. It repeats itself over and over again and then builds tension. The question is, how can couples develop healthy conflict resolution habits when their emotional response styles, like myself and my wife, are completely different? How do you navigate such kind of uniqueness of two people who are like upward and opposite, and in conversation they have a rift or they have something that the other person feels offended or feels hurt, but you can't have that conversation because the other person is not ready to have that conversation? How do you navigate that kind of scenario?
I think that conversations are not just conversations, especially hard conversations. They are not just conversation. There is a lot that is happening, especially to the person that is on the receiving side. So what you are receiving is not just word; it can be bomb. You understand? It can be.
So when you say you are receiving that, it means that this conversation you want to have, I am the one on the spotlight.
Yes.
You are about to say something that I'm not comfortable with. It's a difficult conversation. I agree with you. Nobody loves to be on the spotlight. Yes. Even the conversation that you want to discuss, it's a conversation that you want to discuss about my strength.
Yes, everybody's fine.
Okay, let's roll.
Fine.
But when you want to say, this one, I don't like the way you are doing this. You are not measuring up this. You are not doing this. I will let, when you are talking about expectation, the other person is not measuring up with, and there's wahala. Difficult conversation. How do you want to go around that?
Like in our early days, I normally, especially after our barakbo, so we'll get back home.
Barakbo means togetherness. Fraternity.
And I want to say that for myself and my wife, we're eternally grateful for that barakbo, that season when we just newly got married. Because we're barely 2-3 years, and you will see people with 10 years experience sharing their life. We're just learning and then taking correction and taking redress from what they were saying. That saved us a whole lot. So shout out to MBF Barapo. You have saved our life seriously without even knowing, and we're forever grateful. So when we get
whoever you guys are, shout out to you guys for saving their marriage. Praise God. Hallelujah.
So when we get home, I'll now say, okay, let's have the conversation now. What am I doing that you don't like?
That's the two of you.
Yes.
So you have entered one chance.
But she will finish me. I will scatter the entire meeting. That this meeting, with all the suffering that I'm suffering, this I'll see the things that you're saying. And also that requested for it.
You requested for
Because at that time, in marriage, there are things as a word that in your early days you may not be able to take.
So you didn't think about it properly. When
No, you know that you are trying to just feel that you can take anything. It's a lie. You can't take anything until you grow. You can't take anything. But I now discovered that now we can have conversation now, and then I can stomach anything. Meaning that it's not just about me now. The person that is on the giving side now, she's talking with grace now.
Grace. That time you was talking with Grace. So talking with this Grace.
In the house, you just don't talk.
Yeah.
You must talk with grace. You must talk with wisdom.
Your
You must talk with
has to be
very,
seasoned with salt. That's what the
very,
scripture
very
says.
important. So there is how to say the things that you want to say in your heart without offending the other person. And these things you need to learn it over time. It's not a gift. It's something as a word that you need to be. You will train yourself to learn these things. And if you refuse to learn these things, there will never be peace in the house. So what I've seen now is that when we're having those conversations, I can stomach stuff now, and she's saying it well. I remember that. I used to tell my wife that when we are celebrating, when something happens, we can celebrate. Back then, we can celebrate good things, joyful moments, maybe 1 or 2 days. But if it's matters arising between two of us, things that is not going too well, we will not talk to ourselves in 1 week. But it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So the joy is not long, or the joy is not longer than when we're having issues. But now we're grateful to God now that we are not enduring our marriage, we are enjoying it now. So because marriage should not be more of endurance, it should be more of enjoying your lives.
Thank you very much. There's no way that we're going to finish. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to take the last conversation input from folks, but we're going to have part 2 of this conversation because these last 2 ones are very important. In fact, if it's not important to you people listening, it's important to me because it's a current trending matter in the community, and I would love us to have enough time to pieces. And I can assure you, are going to be blessed because it is what it is. This is how we grow. If you are not growing, if there is no personal development, there are conversations I can have now with my wife that if I attempted back then, I can assure you that days we will be looking at the roof, and all of that. But we can have it now because we have grown. And there are still some that we're struggling with now, but I assure you that if we grow in another couple of weeks, months, or years, we can have that conversation. That difficult conversation, it makes one person uncomfortable, but you should still have it, and you need to receive grace and wisdom to know how to navigate. So let me have folks input on this matter, and then we draw the curtains today.
On this conflict matter, I always think of it from, yes, of course, we are all growing. I mean, this is 22 years. We didn't start off like this. So there are some things I could not take to back then. But in the course of the years, it's good to understand that the marriage is not about me. It's not about me. It's about both of us. And we are here to make it work.
It's a team.
It's a teamwork. And we need to consciously do that. So in the case of where there is, I feel I need to have a conversation, and then this is how I'm feeling, and my partner is not up to it. It takes you to respect that person, to give some allowance. If one is on the side of the sun must not go down on my anger, and the other one is like, as issues happen, I don't want to talk about it because I may say things I do not want to say. You need to be very careful. Some people take time to process words. Some people, can give, responses on the spur of the moment. So I think it's for us to understand each other in this marriage relationship and begin to make allowance for the other person. It's not about you. So if you have things that are, of course, because of growth, things will get better. But I always say one thing, so listen with the attitude and the posture of wanting to understand, not to respond. If you're always wanting to respond, you have prepared your speech before the person finishes talking, and then you shut down. You're not even listening anymore. That way, there's not going to be any headway in that conversation. It will just be, that's why it will always end up in Iraq and Iran. So it's best that you listen with an attitude of this meeting is looking for a resolution, and this person has brought this matter forward. Since it's not about me alone, I think I need to listen so that we can chart a way forward, and then things can get better in this relationship. I've seen cases where when things are swept under the carpet continuously like that, it starts with communication breakdown, then it continues with unforgiveness, and then after some time you even forgot what exactly brought you into this state, and then there begins to be a gap between you. You begin to drift apart without you knowing, and that is coming to an end. I have a live case of this kind of scenario that played out like this from beginning to the end, and today they are divorced.
Right. I wish you had more time, but there's going to be part 2. I can assure you, we must have the part 2 of this. I'm going to give you the last 2 case studies just to water your appetite, and we're going to take in more. You know, if you have a more real life situation. So one real life situation is that some people are in, maybe a friend, maybe a cousin, maybe a sister that you're in. Please send it to us, to my DM, and we're going to have the conversation next week Friday or another Friday. We just stay tuned and know when we're coming up again. Number 4 is this. This is why I'm interested in number 4 and number 5. Case study. A couple struggles with declining intimacy due to work pressure, parenting stress, and unspoken frustrations. One partner feels rejected and the other feels overwhelmed. In fact, recently in our community, some of the ringleaders of the women community sent us one video. That video was a revenge returns. Now nobody understands. They said us. They said us.
You don't understand what they are talking about.
We now give it back to us. But I like the way the men reacted to it. They took it off. They're okay, no problem. No, there's a video. So it's actually going viral. It's a video of a husband, crossing his legs and just chilling, Netflix and chill. Where the woman, obviously the way she was dressed, she must have been walking. And as she passed by, he hit her on a bump. As he did that, the woman just
vengeance is mine.
The violence that she used to knock his head out. Look at this one. If you see the number of comments of women on that group,
sisterhood is part
of you. Now these are some of the things that they have been thinking in their hearts to do to their husbands for grace and mercy that they have not done it. So they share it with us. Apparently, we said, okay, oh, that's fine. We got the message, but it was more like fun for us and the fact that the message was gotten. But if you flipped it on the sisterhood, when we say message like that, it's dead silence. They will not respond. They will do as if they didn't see it, and they are all that. So it's important, and it's a gender wiring, and I would love to appreciate, and then know why this gender is wired this way. So a couple struggles in declining intimacy due to work pressure, with parenting stress and unspoken frustration. One partner feels rejected and the other feels overwhelmed. How can couples initiate honest conversations about intimacy without triggering shame, without provoking shame and reproach, and without blame or being defensive? It's a difficult one, but the conversation we want to have next week when we gather. Number 5 and the final one: faith, growth, and unequal spiritual pace. One spouse is growing spiritually, prayer warrior, can study the Bible, great commitment and consecration, while the other seems to be stagnant, indifferent, cold, just a religious, lukewarm believer. This creates tension and silent judgment. The question is, how should couples navigate spiritual imbalance without becoming controlling, frustrated, and disconnected? I want Pastor Bo to come online next week. We'd like to have your Pastor Damian. All right, so this way, we are going to be discussing this in the part 2 of this. I hope it comes up next week Friday, but keep your ears ground. Follow Digit on all the social media platforms. Digit's our media partner. We want to thank you for having this conversation today. Thank you for being our go-between to ensure that people can hear us live and we can be a blessing to families across the world. Please follow Digit on all social media platforms at Digits 1024 Radio, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube at Digits. Sorry, it's X now. Yeah, at Digits 1024, and then Digits Sound. You know, there are two. Digits Sound is a parent company. Digits 1024. It's an offshoot, the media subsidiary of Digits Sound. So we come your way again in another very bright, sunny afternoon on a Friday. We hope that wherever you are, if you are navigating difficult conversations, we hope we have been able to contribute to to make all the friction look a bit more lubricated, and that you can go back this weekend and have more constructive, more LD and productive conversations with your loved ones. And hopefully at the end of this weekend, you go back to your bed smiling, and we will be glad that we contributed to it. So till we come your way again on this same station, from every one of us in the studio, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, cheers.
Brick by brick we start to build, foundation strong, unyielding still. In your eyes I see our dream, side by side we are a team. Piece by piece we find our way, words unspoken, hearts convey. Hand in hand through stormy skies, together we will always rise.